Welcome to Mishna study, Masachet Maasrot Perek Bet Mishna Vav. Over here in this Mishnah, we're going to see a differentiation between what we mentioned in the last Mishnah, when a person says, tells his friends, buy me these figs, right? I'll pay cash for these figs. Or if a person buys these figs while they're still attached to the fig tree, while they're still attached to the ground. And we'll see there's a difference whether mekach, whether a transaction, a buying transaction, is kovea for maaser, forces something to be obligated in maaser, whether it is something that picked fruit or if it's still attached to the ground. And someone tells his friend, take this isar, right? Take this cash. Right, for these 20 te'anim that I will choose for myself. Right? I'm going to select these te'anim later. I'll pay for it, and I'll pick the ones I want after. He could take them, again, one at a time, like the Yehuda last Mishnah, one at a time, and he could eat it. Right, for this cluster of grapes that I'll pick for myself. So you could go ahead, right? You can't take the whole cluster at once. If he takes the whole cluster, it's going to be obligated in Maasrot, again, because there's a transaction over here. Right? But what can he do? He could take one grape at a time, and eat it. For a pomegranate, I'll choose for myself. Again, you could take one, pomegranate seed at a time and eat it one by one. For a watermelon that I'll choose for myself, you could go ahead and eat from it. Actually, eat from the watermelon again while it's attached to the ground. Bartunan explains over here actually that he's cutting the watermelon. He's not cutting the watermelon; he's actually just eating it from the ground. Aval imamar, but if he said be'asrim te'enim elu, right? If he says, you know what, for these 20 figs, right, and he's pointing them while they're on the tree, b'shnei eshkolot elu, for these two clusters of grapes, he sees them on the vine. B'shnei rimonim elu, for these two pomegranates. B'shnei avatichim elu, for these two watermelons. Again, all these are attached to the ground. Ochel kedarko upatur. He doesn't have to pick one grape at a time. Right? He could take the whole cluster and eat it achilat arai. He could eat a temporary eating, like anyone would if it was their own field. Why? Because he bought it when it was still attached to the ground. And if you buy something that's still attached to the ground, that's not considered a mekach, it's not considered a transaction that's going to force something to be obligated in Maasrot. And halacha is like our Mishnah.